Welcome back. Seth Doud is a singer, songwriter from Minnesota, currently on a national tour making a stop here in Denver. So, here to talk about his tour and his second album, Seth Doud.
Hi.
How are you, sir?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Good. Thanks for coming down.
For sure, yeah.
It's so cool. We don't get many out-of-state guests.
Cool.
So whenever we do, it's a very special
I'm
occasion.
happy to be here.
Yeah. So why don't we just start? Why don't you tell us a little bit about your music and who you are?
My name is Seth Doud. I'm from a little town, Brainerd, Minnesota. I live in Minneapolis now. I've been there about 3 years. I've been writing and playing music since I was about 8 years old, and professionally since about the same time. The touring thing is fairly new. I have an agent based out of Denver that I hooked up with last summer, and so we've been trying to slowly make our way everywhere, and here we are now.
Yeah. Where have you been? So what's kind of some of the highlights so far?
I've done a fair-sized West Coast tour in January. After that, I did a pretty nice size East Coast tour, and then shortly after that, I did a more New England saturated tour. Okay. So the northern part of, and then this is my second run back out to the West Coast, and tomorrow will be my first show of this little tour. So.
Very cool. Yeah. And let's talk more about your music. So what's your style of music? How would you kind of describe it?
You know, that's a kind of a tough question. Genres are tough for me. I'm a soulful singer-songwriter. A lot of people consider it Americana, folk rock. I think iTunes calls it folk rock. But it's a mix of all the music I've ever liked, which is almost everything. So it makes it hard to kind of...
You can't go to iTunes and be like, the genre is a mix of A, B, C, and D.
No,
and that's there.
Unfortunately.
Oh, come on, iTunes, step up their game.
I guess
so let's talk about your musical influences. Kind of what influences your music?
I have so many. Growing up, I listened to a lot of Bob Dylan and Bob Marley. Grateful Dead is one of my favorite bands. But I like a lot of singers-songwriters that do similar things. You know, like Ray LaMontagne, Brandy Carlisle. There's just so many artists that I admire, and there's so many great ones.
Like just all music, all
Pretty
good
much,
music.
Yeah, it's true.
So you said you started performing when you were 8. So how did you get into music in the first place? Where did this start?
My dad used to pastor a church, and I just remembered I enjoyed singing when other people in church would sing, and I asked for a guitar early on in life, and we had a piano in our house, and I would my friends would come over and they'd want to do regular kid stuff, and I would just kind of want to be at the piano and playing my guitar, and I mean that's pretty much what I did when I was younger.
So you asked for a guitar and piano and you got it.
I did.
And this is where you are. See,
yeah, I guess so.
I wanted to learn to play piano. My mom never let me. And so this is a prime example, Mother, of you should have given me what I wanted when I was 8 years old, because I could have been on a national tour right now. But it worked out for you.
Worked out great.
Worked out for you. So let's talk about your second album. Is out now.
Yep, I recorded it last November here in Denver, Mighty Fine Productions. And a great group of Denver musicians helped out with it. My dear friend Angie Stevens, who's a local artist, she helps produce the album and co-wrote a couple of the songs on it. And I'm fortunate, she knows a lot of really great people that were willing to come and help out with the studio musician aspect of it. And yeah, the end product just wouldn't have been what it is without the great people of Denver helping me out with this. So,
why Denver? Why are the people so great?
Just
here?
because I don't know, they have such a great music scene. There's so many different styles of music, and everybody's willing to collaborate. At least from my experience, it's just a good community of musicians, and I'm fortunate to know a lot of those musicians.
Yeah. And I want to ask you this question because we don't get to ask this question a lot as someone who's toured around a lot of different places and is from a different state, but also has an interest in the Denver music scene. Kind of not how does Denver compare to other places, but kind of what is it like?
It's like I said, it's a really eclectic mix. I mean, there's great outlaw country bands, there's a hip hop scene, there's a really good folk Americana scene. Also all the hippies and the deadheads, and I mean, it's just got all of that. And I guess it's kind of like that everywhere, but like I said, there's just always, I mean, every night of the week there's shows to go to, and there's, and other cities are like that too, I guess. I'm just more familiar with this area and these people, and so it's really worked out for me.
Well, I think Denver's great, so you made a right choice there.
Yeah, I love it.
So where are you heading next on the tour?
I head to New Mexico from here, and then to Arizona and California, and then all the way to northern Maine for a music festival. And not quite as many shows on this run as the last tour. The last tour was 13 or 14 shows, I want to say, and I think I have about 6 this time around.
Yeah.
So.
Very cool.
Yeah.
what place are you looking forward to the most going? Is there like a new place you
I
haven't
look
been
forward to all of them in different ways, and I have a lot of friends around the country that I don't get to see very often, so I'll be excited when I go to areas that I have friends in. I'm really excited for that reason. If I go to somewhere that I've never been, I'm excited for that reason. So I wouldn't say I'm excited for anywhere more than the other, just different reasons for different places.
Okay. And let's talk about you write your music yourself. What's the writing process like for you?
It's tough. I usually write when I'm sad or down and out, and that hasn't happened in a long time. So I haven't been writing a lot.
Oh no.
Because life is pretty good at the moment. But I'll usually go a while without writing a song, and then I'll kind of feel like I'm in a mood to write, and then usually within like a 2 to 5 day period, I'll end up writing 10 songs or whatever, and they just come out, and then I might not write again for a year, maybe 2. It's just strange when that happens.
What's that spark of creativity like?
It's just kind of there, and I just know it's time. I'll be like, where's my notebook? It's just, I don't know.
And it's just that expression of your emotions.
I don't think it's for any reason. I think it's just time.
It's just time to do it. Very cool. So let's talk more about the songs on the second album. So kind of what can audiences and people hear on that?
There's songs about, there's songs everybody can relate to. They're about love and loss of love and friendships that need mending. And I think anybody can apply their own self to those, to those stories. Nice. So check it out. It's on Apple, Spotify, all those platforms.
Perfect. So check out the second album online at all.
And it's also available here in Denver at Twist and Shout as well.
Oh, perfect. Twist and Shout. We're running out of time, but my question is, I have one request for you. Sometime in the future, can you write a song for me personally about your mom letting you play the piano or guitar? I want that song really badly.
I'll send it your way.
All right. Well, perfect. Thank you so much for coming on. It was very nice to meet you.